Brennan's murder derailed. Nina makes life-saving rescue. Let us start with a man who has been underestimated by absolutely everyone around him, and whose quiet, steady recovery from something designed to keep him permanently silenced is about to become the most important surprise in Port Charles. When the paralytic was first used on him, the plan was straightforward in the most chilling way. Keep him still. Keep him silent. Make sure he could not tell anyone what he knows, what he has seen, what he has been a part of. The person responsible for that plan believed it was working. Believed he was still locked in, unable to move, unable to communicate, completely at the mercy of whatever decisions were made around him. But the doses stopped coming. The supply that was keeping him in that state ran dry, and nobody found a reliable way to replenish it. And a body without that interference does what bodies do. It begins to heal. Slowly, quietly, without anyone in the right position to notice. He has been getting stronger. He has been getting his voice back, just barely. He has been moving his limbs, just a little. And he has been keeping all of it absolutely to himself, because a man who spent years in intelligence knows that the most powerful thing you can possess is information your enemy does not have. The man running the operation that has turned the city upside down does not know any of this. He still believes the paralytic situation is holding, still believes his problem with this man is being managed. But somewhere in his calculation, doubt has crept in. He knows that the supply issue is a problem. He knows that a recovering man who remembers everything he has heard and witnessed is a liability that grows more dangerous by the day. And so the conclusion he is working his way toward, the decision that is forming at the cold, ruthless center of his thinking, is that elimination is simpler than management. He is going to send someone to do it. Not himself. He has too many other fires burning right now, too many pieces in motion that require his attention. He is going to send one of the people in his network, someone who can move through a care facility without raising alarms, someone who can make what happens look like anything other than what it is. And he is going to send that person at exactly the wrong moment, because someone else is going to be there. She has been carrying enormous guilt. She has been trying to navigate an impossible situation involving a daughter whose behavior she can no longer defend, alliances she made that have cost her more than she anticipated, and a conscience that has been louder than she has wanted to admit. She has been doing what she can within the constraints of a situation she does not fully control. And when she walks in on what is happening in that room, when she sees what is being attempted and understands in an instant what it means, something in her stops calculating and simply acts. She intervenes. Directly, physically, without hesitation. Whether she turns the weapon being used back on the attacker or simply creates enough disruption and chaos to stop the attempt and get him out, she saves his life. Full stop. She does something that nobody who knows her recent history would have predicted, and she does it without stopping to weigh the consequences or consider what it costs her. And what comes after that matters enormously. Because when two people have been through something as raw and immediate as a life or death moment together, the dynamic between them shifts. The barriers come down. The performance and the positioning fall away. And what is left is just two people who have seen each other clearly in one of the most unguarded moments either of them has ever had. Their connection is going to grow from this. And a woman who has been feeling very alone in Port Charles lately is going to find, in the last person either of them would have expected, something that feels like understanding. Alexis fed up with Willow. Ringtone evidence sparks stunning showdown. Now, let us talk about a confrontation that has been building for a very long time, because there is a woman in Port Charles who has been sitting on knowledge that could change everything, and she has reached the absolute end of her rope. She is not someone who is easily pushed around. She has had her own complicated history with the law, with mistakes, with moments where she had to look hard at herself and rebuild from what she found. She came through all of that with her integrity intact and her legal career back on track. And she has been careful, meticulously careful, about not doing anything that could cost her what she has worked so hard to rebuild. But there is a difference between being careful and being complicit. And the line between those two things has been getting harder to stand on every single day she has known what she knows and said nothing. She figured it out herself. She did not wait for someone to hand her the answer. She went looking through records, through details, through the kind of methodical, sharp-eyed analysis that made her a formidable legal mind in the first place. And what she found was a phone call. A specific call, traced through records that placed a specific device at a specific location at a specific time. Combined with what two young witnesses heard, a ringtone, a distinctive, recognizable ringtone that could only belong to a certain child's phone, the picture became undeniable. She was there. The woman who walked out of that courtroom acquitted was in that house. The shot that was fired, the man who ended up in a bed unable to move or speak, the entire sequence of events that has been reshaping Port Charles ever since, it connects directly back to her. And the woman who knows this has been carrying it like a stone in her chest. Now the situation is boiling over. The woman she has been protecting this knowledge from is in trouble again. Different trouble, separate trouble, a frame-up situation that is genuinely not her fault this time. And the audacity of her reaching out for help, reaching out specifically to the woman who knows the truth about what she did, is the thing that has finally pushed this confrontation into unavoidable territory. She is not going to help. She made that decision clearly and finally, and without apology. She has represented this woman before. She bent herself into uncomfortable positions trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, trying to do her professional duty even when her personal instincts were screaming that something was wrong. She is not doing it again. Not because she wants to punish anyone, not because she is on some kind of vendetta, but because she no longer trusts her. And a lawyer who does not trust her client cannot do her job. It is that simple. What she is going to do is confront her directly. She is going to look this woman in the eyes and tell her what she knows, how she knows it, and how long she has known it. She is going to make it plain that the two young witnesses who came to her, who told her what they heard, who were afraid to testify because of what it might cost them, their words were heard. Their courage was not wasted, even if it did not make it to a courtroom. The woman on the receiving end of this confrontation is going to be blindsided. She has gotten away with so much, navigated so many close calls, slipped through so many nets, that she has perhaps started to believe that she is simply untouchable, that the truth, even when it is right there and visible, somehow will not reach her. This conversation is going to put an end to that particular delusion. And the ripple effects of it are going to spread. Because what one sharp, principled, fed-up woman says in a private confrontation has a way of finding its way into the larger conversation, especially in a city as interconnected and gossip-prone as Port Charles. The walls are closing in from multiple directions at once. And the person at the center of it is running out of room. Anna escapes France's clinic, hides underground, to ambush enemies. And now let us close with a story that has the whole fan community holding their collective breath because she is out, or she is about to be. And what she does next is going to reshape everything. Let us back up for just a moment because the full arc of how she got here matters. She was gaslighted. Systematically, deliberately, by someone with enough power and enough cruelty to turn the mind of one of the most capable women in the world against itself. She was made to believe that a dead man was still alive and still threatening the people she loved. She was made to doubt her own perceptions, her own memories, her own sanity. And when she was finally separated from Port Charles and placed in a facility across the ocean, everyone around her, including people who cared deeply about her, looked at her and saw a woman in genuine mental crisis. What they did not see, what the man who orchestrated all of this never fully accounted for, was who she is underneath the damage. What she has been made of since before any of them knew her. She is a spy. She is a trained, brilliant, experienced intelligence operative who has survived things that would have broken most people without leaving a single visible crack. And sitting in a hospital bed with knitting needles in her hands and doctors watching her every move, she was not resting. She was planning. She told her doctors exactly what they needed to hear. She performed recovery with the same precision and conviction she has brought to every cover identity she has ever inhabited. She made them believe they were witnessing genuine progress, that the work they had been doing was producing results, that the frightened, confused woman who arrived there months ago was becoming someone stable and ready to rejoin the world. And it worked. She is coming back. The summer spoilers confirm it. But here is what is so extraordinarily her about what happens next. She does not go straight home. She does not rush to the arms of the people who love her. She does not announce herself or let anyone know she is free. She goes underground. because she is not coming back to rest. She is not coming back to be welcomed and embraced and slowly reintegrated into normal life. She is coming back with a purpose, and that purpose requires her to move in the dark, at least for now, gathering everything she needs before anyone knows she is there. She knows something that the people in Port Charles desperately need to understand. She knows the man presenting himself as a beloved, trusted presence in people's lives is not who he says he is. She has known about the twin, about the identity that was stolen, about the deception that has been running unchallenged in her city while she has been locked in a room across the ocean. And she has been going out of her mind with the inability to do anything about it. Now she can do something about it. She is free, she is mobile, and she is not going to waste a single moment. The spoilers describe her return as carrying deadly intentions. That is not language this show uses carelessly. She has a list. And the man who engineered everything that was done to her, who turned her mind against itself, who used every tool available to him to destroy her credibility and remove her from the game, sits at the very top of it. She's going to wait for exactly the right moment, exactly the right position, exactly the right opportunity. And when she moves, it is going to be clean, and it is going to be final. There is also the matter of the imposter. Exposing him requires evidence, the kind of concrete, undeniable evidence that cuts through every defense and every doubt and makes denial impossible. She knows who he is and what he has done. Knowing it and proving it are different things. So she will gather. She will document. She will build the case the way she builds everything, methodically, patiently, with a kind of quiet thoroughness that only comes from decades of doing this at the highest level. The woman who was sent away broken is coming back whole. She is not fully healed. The long-term effects of what was done to her are real, and the spoilers do not pretend otherwise. But whole is different from healed. You can be carrying wounds and still be fully, completely, terrifyingly yourself. Her enemies do not know she is free. That is the most dangerous thing about this moment. They believe she is still contained, still managed, still neutralized. They are not watching for her. They are not bracing for her. They have moved on to their other problems and their other schemes and their other calculations. She is out there, right now, in the dark, watching every single one of them. And they have no idea.